1,000 thoughts in a fraction of a second going round through my head as I'm pressing that button to record. I was closing my window because it got a bit chilly in this room. And I thought, this is my life. I live in one room. I live in a room. I am in a box. This is where my life is right now. And with the thought of this is my life came the thought of this has always been my life. This has been the story of I've always been in a bubble. I lived in a bubble. Initially, it was the bubble of being in the house in the garden with my brother and sister and my mom and dad, and that was about it. Or at least that's what I remember. That's what I have as a memory in my head somewhere, in my body, in my emotional body, that I lived in a bubble all throughout my life. Initially, just in the family home, and then gradually continuing the same theme throughout my life of I live in a bubble. I got married and that was my bubble. I had children and that was my bubble. I had a job and that was my bubble. Everywhere I go, I'm just a bubbled being. I live in bubbles. And I had this sense as I was closing the window and having those thoughts that were happening like as quick as anybody, as quick as a thought. So all that I've spoken so far happened in a fraction of a second. But of course, words don't come out as fast as thoughts happen. So as I was closing the window, I was thinking to myself, why do I have this lingering feeling of pessimism? How am I gigs? How am I that part? How is it that a lot of people see that part of me? Yet there's a part inside of me that feels like I'm not there at all. There's this part of me that feels like I am so engulfed in this life that I'm living right now, that I find it a bit challenging to access other feelings, other emotions. And I hear Bashar in my head as I say these things. I have listened to a little clip earlier today where he was having this conversation with another woman of what's the payoff, basically. What is the payoff of me having that belief that this is my life? And I'm a bit pessimist because even that, it's a belief. What is the payoff that I'm getting out of feeling this way? What am I gaining out of it? What's stopping me from living to my highest excitement? How the hell am I gigs and I'm pessimist? Or I see the glass half empty a lot. Why do I feel like I keep pulling myself towards the part that's, oh, poor me? Because that's what it is. It feels like I am feeling sorry for myself. And somehow I am getting a kick out of it. Why am I getting a kick out of it? What is it that I'm gaining out of that? Because I ain't gaining nothing at this point. What does it just feel? It's the comfortability of it, I guess. It's the known of it. What would I feel? How would I be? Who would I be if I didn't have those feelings, if I didn't have those thoughts? Maybe I would be so great that it would shock me too much. Is it scary to just be different and to be somehow other? It is, because it's not what I know. Even though I do know it. Yeah. Dear diary, out loud. Dear diary, dear journal. I wrote in my journal today, but I wrote some other things all together, and I noticed I had a gap of 2 days when I haven't written in it, which since I bought it, I strive to write in it every day, even if it is just a few lines. Yet even there, I saw that my tendency is to write the negative. And is this just because this is what everybody's programmed into doing? We're all just set up to have our balance more inclined to the negative polarity of the stick? How many people in this world do I know, at least, that have it more towards the other end, but not necessarily even towards one or the other? If I imagine that, not I imagine, I know for sure, if I were to think of how many people are more inclined toward the negative than towards the positive, I am 100% sure that most of the human population is inclined towards the negative. Maybe what? At least 60%, if not more, of the population of the world is towards the negative end. Positive end of the stick, not so many. Middle ground, people that have actually managed to find balance in their life in all of this battle of polarities. How many? And why does that matter to me right now? I know why it matters, because I am trying to find that within myself. I'm trying. That's where the thing is. The problem, if there's a problem, that's where the story begins, that I am trying to find balance. I am not being balanced. I am not choosing balance. Choosing balance, not really. That was a joke. Stupid one too. I am choosing, more often than not, consciously or subconsciously, unconsciously, more than subconsciously, I am choosing the victim story. Victim of what? Just victim in general. This feels bad, this feels sad, I feel nostalgic, stuck in the past, thinking too much of the future, or thinking of, oh, when am I gonna get this, and when's that gonna happen? And next thought come into it of, well, things don't happen like that, you know? You kind of need to feel how you want to feel now. And I hear myself say these things, and I also hear myself in the other episodes, because at the same time as I'm recording this, I know what I've already recorded and what I've already put out. And it's the same fucking story. I go round and round in circles of oh, I want to change the story. I don't know how. I do know how. Why don't I do it? I haven't practiced it enough. I haven't practiced the new story enough. It's a conscious choosing, second to second thing. Oh man. Second to second. Well, I don't feel like I'm aware second to second. I get up unconscious. I become unconscious quite a bit throughout the day. And every day start from zero again. And every day making a conscious effort to be present, to not let my thoughts go too much, to run too much havoc in my head. Run riot. Do the thing that my thoughts do. I'm going to blame it on the fact that I'm an Aquarius. And on the fact that one of the traits of a lot of Aquariuses is that they get stuck and fixated on certain ideas. And see, that's a belief. That's a belief that I choose to hold on to. That becomes an excuse for why I am the way that I am. Oh my God. Oh my God. When life is so easy and simple, and it's just me that makes it so. When, like I said at the beginning, I just live in this room. And I sometimes go out of it and interact with other people for very short periods of time, or go and put myself in another room, or the room becomes the outdoor, because even that to me is still a bubble. The earth is still a bubble. All of it is a bubble. No matter where I go, I'm in a bubble. in the bubble of my own thoughts and in the bubble of my own emotions and feelings and things that I am figuring out and that I'm learning to navigate. That a part of me feels like, have I done learning how to navigate yet? Am I worthy enough yet of just being happy? Has the healing stage done yet? Like the bigger part of it? Answer to that is yes, somewhat. Healing never ends, I guess. As long as I'm alive, there's always going to be something else. And this is what I've been navigating more lately. And at the same time, how do I just be happy? These were not necessarily these in particular, but the peaceful and serene. And I don't want to have joyful feelings that much, or ecstatic or full of fun, even though I want some of those too. But I prefer to have the peacefulness and satiated satisfaction feeling. Wow. I was writing in my journal today that peaceful feeling, that energy of all is wellness. All is well. All is well anyway. All is well. All has always been well. I just looked at 11:33 on my timer since I started recording. All is wellness. All is well all the time. Can I tap into all is well all the time? No. Do I tend more to be in the negative end of the stick? Lately, yes. Saying stupid shit out loud, yes. Like I just did. Stupid shit out loud. I'm mentioning this dude again. This one friend of mine that's not my friend anymore, that has chosen to keep himself away from me because it was towards he didn't see any value in our friendship anymore. And I totally get it. I would probably be the same too if I was in his shoes. I wouldn't want to interact with me anymore if I get stuck in these loops of poor me all the time, or most of the time. Yeah. So I'm living in a bubble. I'm living even in the bubble of whoever's watching this is gonna. I've got a few people in my head sometimes, to be honest, that they're gonna watch this and gonna see this part of me, that I don't necessarily want to be seen as. I don't want to be seen as the one that goes around in circles through the same stories, or the one that hasn't got her shit figured out, the one that's human and behaving like a human, the one that has this tendency to get wrapped up in ideas and not know how to navigate them. Yeah. And then, of course, the thought of who cares? Who cares? Who the hell cares? Even if it is those people that I have in my head that I'm thinking are going to watch this. First of all, maybe those people are not going to watch it. Second of all, are those people that important in my life? Third, does it matter what they believe? Does it matter how they perceive me? And if it does, why? Why am I so bothered about what specific people think? Because I might have put them on a pedestal, maybe, or because not even the pedestal part. Some of them are just like randos. Rando people. We're all randos. Alignment. That's interesting. I've got this little card that I received from one of my mentors, from my White Witch mentor. Last year sometimes she sent me a little potion that she made for the course that I was in at the time, and with it came this card that's called Alignment, and it's like a little poem. It's very soothing. I just looked up and I'm looking at it right now. It's suited for the bit of ramble that I've had in here of the balance between the positive and the negative. It's all about alignment, finding the middle ground, balance. Is that possible every day and every second of my waking life, a sleep night even, life? No, not necessarily. Why? Because I ain't, I I am not an enlightened being. Or maybe I am all the time and I'm just telling myself that I'm not. There's that part. So, that's it. That is it. I'm going to cut my nails now. Because I got all my stuff out ready and I closed my window and I had this thought. And then I had this thought. I'm just going to record. Talk to myself for a little bit. It is. There's a part of me that's 100% feeling vulnerable about sharing this stuff out. And at the same time thinking of the value that it might bring to somebody else. And where did I hear this? Wow, yesterday I knew exactly where I heard this thing of who am I helping and how am I helping? Damn, where did I see this? Did I read it? Did somebody say it in a podcast or something? Yeah, one of them things. It doesn't even matter. It was my higher self speaking through another person. That's what it was. It's not necessarily about me, even if I'm talking as it is me, because it is me after all. But how is this helping? And who is it helping? And I'm figuring at this point it's helping people that are having these thoughts as well. If it is, if not. How is it helping? By having that feeling that you're not alone. I'm not alone. That was the other part that kind of brought me some of the peacefulness today when I was writing of, I know I'm never alone. And I know I'm always being looked after. And I know I'm always loved. And not necessarily by other people, but by the space in between. By this space in between. By this space in between. By this space in between. All the space in between. God that's in the space. It's in all the space. It's in the space inside of me. It's in the space around me. It's in the space between me and other things that I consider separation between me and other things. People. So the space is loving me and holding me, literally. Oh, and I had this little insight too. Got snots coming out of my nose. I had this little insight as well about I really just am in the space that I am. That's it. That's the only space that I occupy. There is no other. It's not like I was thinking about traveling, let's say, traveling, going to other countries and exploring new places and seeing what that's like, and thinking to myself, I can only be in one place at the same time. I cannot be in many places. Maybe I could if I really wanted to or worked with, because I know there's people that are magic that way. Yet, in the current state of consciousness that I'm at, I know that I can only occupy a certain space in time. So right now I'm occupying the space that I'm in right now, which is I'm on this bed, recording, talking to myself, thinking about stuff, judging the words that are coming out of my mouth, judging the way that I'm speaking them, judging the thoughts of other people watching it, judging. Is it discernment more? Nah. Discerning what? After all, none of it matters. If I zoom out of all of this, does any of this matter? I'm gonna croak one day. We're all gonna croak one day, sooner or later. We are already dead, all of us. But also at the same time, we're all alive. And all the other lives that we've had previously are all now. Now. We can access them without even realizing sometimes. That's it. I will leave this here.